Just fucking do it. Subscribe now. Latecomers that don't like you, Brian. Before they said you could fight, now you can't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. I mean,
it's pretty harsh out there.
Yeah, oh, I know, it's ugly.
I got some love.
Yeah, but
All right, I can handle it.
But then they said, it said Brian, there should be a hyphen, Lopez would kick your ass.
Ooh.
Now, there's no Brian Lopez, right?
No, I've been trying to start a fight with Lopez for the past 9 months. I'm trying to pick a fight with him.
Okay, well, because they should have put a hyphen or a comma.
Jiu-jitsu, whatever he wants.
Okay.
He never responded.
Yeah, well.
That's what that's about.
Well, this guy is obviously a Lopez fan because he says Brian Lopez would kick your ass.
And after that performance, Lopez should now accept.
For those of you that don't know who Ty is, it's not important. But other than we had his lookalike here, Indian kid who, I mean, could be his twin. Now, we had some questions from you guys and from the YouTubers. This is how I keep track of what I do. Old-fashioned pad. That's it. But my crap staff gives me electronically, hard copy and electronically. They keep track of what I'm supposed to do, who I'm supposed to call, what meetings, etc. But I do this. Kat and Thelma and Kim, and to a lesser degree, Vinica, feed in information to this. And I don't do any of it on my cell phone. Nothing. Of course, I don't turn my cell phones on, except for when we travel and our kids never call me. So, but for 15, maybe at least 15 years, I've told you I have a toll-free number, 3 different around the world, so the kids can call. And to date, not one in 15 years from 3 kids have I got a call. That's the emergency lifeline kind of thing. And they call to make an appointment to talk to me, and they give me the agenda. Now, we've been doing that a long, long time, and they're very structured. And they're more structured than anybody they know. And their ages are 33, 38, and 39. And when you start them out young, guess what? It lasts. And I would imagine our grandchildren will be under the same scrutiny. And for those of you that have seen it on social media, when he was about, our grandson, when he was about 4 months or 3 months, something like that, he wears T-shirts that says "Future Legend," and he's still wearing T-shirts that say "Future Legend," and he's 1.5, and he'll be wearing by the time he says "Legend," no future legend. That shit works. And unless you're Andrew Agassi and Steffi Graf, who got married, 20 years ago, had some kids, and both, tremendously world-class athletes, gold medalists, won the Grand Slams respectively in the men and women tennis, and both of their parents, Graf and Agassi, don't want their kids to play tennis, but they have 2 tennis courts in the backyard, so it's not likely they're not playing tennis, and I would imagine that they'll be terrific athletes. Although sometimes it skips a generation, like with me. My dad was a world All-American, and I was numbnuts, couldn't catch the ball. Other than being big, I was never picked. You know how sandlot football and you play? Nobody ever picked me unless we were playing football and I could plug the line. Couldn't move laterally too well, but I could plug the line. But as far as anything, the running. But when we were talking about Thomas yesterday, then I didn't feel obligated to talk about the old man. But this is the old man that set the record for 73 days, and he's done terrific, and he's continuing to do terrific with his 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and I believe 6th deal. But he also came out of the blocks screaming, very, very quietly, other than I could tell vis-a-vis his reporting that he was going to do it. But originally he did it in 58 days. And I was notified, but then he had within a day or a day and a half, as I recall, he got back to me. He said, no, that fell apart. So you had to go re-glue it. And so the difference between 58 and 73. Now, one of the things that Thomas said, not yesterday, but in his webinar, was about closing and reclosing and reclosing. And yesterday, he only alluded to it once, but not like he did in the first webinar. And it's a really important point. And reading some of the reports from the other mentees since the seminar started, you're selling these guys and gals doesn't end when they say yes. That's the first yes. And you have to, you don't have to, but if you want it to stick, because another thing that Thomas said in his regular webinar to the group is that I don't want to resell these fuckers more than once. So, I mean, re-recruit them, because if they leave, because Thomas commented, and accurately, that a lot of people leave the boards. And normally, almost always, it's your fault because you haven't kept them in the loop with the updates. Every 3, 4, 5 weeks, give them an update. And he says, well, I don't have to want to refill them, so I'm going to sell them and make sure they stay sold. So the selling process never really stops until you do a deal. Then they become a lot more sticky. But you still occasionally lose one. But I can almost guarantee 100% of your board, once you do a deal, aren't going to be leaving. You may throw some off, but they're not going to be leaving. And that's because, money talks and bullshit walks. But I don't take advantage of all the electronic gizmos that you guys do. I find it a distraction because I would get, my 3 phones would be lit up all the time. But now, because they know they have to go through one of 4 of my assistants, and they're not really gatekeepers, because I ultimately get a summary of almost all the information or all the people that call. But now, after many years, they know what's next, or what's just a plain no, or what they should notify me of. But scheduling and time management, and I do it for time management. I would never be able to, not that I need to relax, but I would never have any time in between calls. And I see a lot of you, doing messages, talking to people during the breaks. That's fine. But how many of those messages, how many of those calls are really germane to your geometric growth? Or are they you working in the business instead of on the business? And most of the calls are working in the business and not on the business. And and again, your reporting is not, for the hardcore, isn't mandatory. The Zoom call is mandatory, but the reporting isn't mandatory. Because we found, now this is the 7th hardcore, we really haven't run any data on the 6th hardcore or the 5th hardcore, because they just happened, but on the first four hardcores, whether you turned in a report when they were due and whether you were successful or not, there was really no correlation. The ones that were taking care of business, took care of business, whether they sent me a report or they didn't send me a report. And so they're not mandatory. And after the hardcore, we still have people sending me reports. And again, I don't guarantee I'm reading them, but I scan almost every report I get. I just got a report from a guy from 2014. And I scanned it, and I noticed one thing that I didn't like, and so when I sent back, I said to change this and keep pushing. And I still get periodic stuff from Bruce Whipple from 25 years. But the system there, again, is for you to do it, and for you to keep track, and for you to get used to it until it becomes matter of fact. And again, it's a lot easier to keep track of the information on a daily basis, so then when you want to put it together in a weekly format, you're not trying to remember what happened 6 days ago, 5 days ago, etc. Okay, now, This is the old man getting his ass kicked. Oop. And this kid was at the hardcore, this last hardcore, the kid that was knocking him down. No headgear. I don't even think he wore a mouthpiece. The old man. Now, which one of those looks more like Brian Rose?
Hey,
Huh?
not that old.
Ooh. He was 21 and he was 61. So that's not exactly equates. But the old man was a good sport about it. Ooh. And I looked over and his eyes are all glassy. That's it. That was it. Out of mercy, the ref stopped the fight. Let's see what's next. Oh, we already saw him. Okay, any questions? Now, today, we're going to work on the big cases. We may have a couple of small case presentations during the next couple of days, but primarily, and as I told you yesterday early evening, I want you to get more used to big numbers so you don't fall into the $80,000 syndrome where the guy was trying to figure out how to pay for his education. And I'm not demeaning the fact the guy was worried about not being able to pay. I'm not pay for the school. But 80 grand in bumfuck Tennessee seemed like a lot of fucking money to me for a year. Something ain't right there. But that's a whole other subject. You know, I'm not here to tell him that why would you pay $80,000 for your kid to go to school in bumfuck Tennessee? But the most of the kids, 80 grand's a lot of money. And the whole class got around him, and it was like a support group. I've only gone to 2 Al-Anon meetings. Al-Anon meetings are the support group for Alcoholics Anonymous. And I got up and left in the second meeting because I couldn't take it. My name's Dan, and this is different. We have a 7-step program here. They have normally 12-step programs. And the 12-step program, my name's Dan, I'm an alcoholic, and I've been sober 16 hours, 16 minutes, 42 days, right? Then the next meeting, they come back, they say, hi, my name's Dan, I'm an alcoholic. I slipped. You can hardly hear the word slip out of their mouth. And then everybody comes up and jelly rolls them, you know? This ain't that kind of program. Fuck you, get out! You slip. And, but it's the antithesis of that. Now, AA and those 12-step programs have been not just popular, effective for 70, 80 years, maybe longer. And, but we are at the complete other end of the continuum. And I don't know what the sober effect or as a percentage is, but if you accept slips, there are going to be slips. And slip to me is default. And that's not what this program is all about. So getting back to the case, the first case we're going to do is Pixar being acquired by Disney. And I went back to refresh my notes, take another look. I was trying to figure out when Roy Disney told me when values are clear, decisions are easy, but I couldn't find it. And the value proposition for Pixar was really important to the Disney people. And so you'll see that. Any questions about Disney and Pixar? Any comments about anything in general? Yes, sir.
So 3 people who haven't presented. So
Yeah. Well, we're going to feed those in.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna feed those in. I haven't forgotten. And the presentation part of the seminar, these people aren't volunteering, jumping up. Oh, you forgot me, Mr. P. Maybe one time in 6 hardcores that's happened, and he was mentally ill. And it was obvious to everybody except me, I guess, in the room that something wasn't right with him. But but all of you've got different personalities. The 2 most obnoxious are sitting together right now. Okay, and completely different ends of the spectrum. You've been around them enough days to know completely different ends of the spectrum, except one, the obnoxious part. That seems to be the common bridge between them. But for the most part, the guys in here are introverts and the gals are introverts. And again, that's everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody in the world. We will get to those, Thomas. Thank you for reminding me, but I had already remembered. Anything else about the cases? Now we're going to do the short straw.
When do we present this afternoon?
Yep. Okay. Now I'm writing a number down. Okay, one from each group. From each group. From each group is going to, okay, for your group, pick a number.
3.
Second group. 1.
2.
2? Who's the fourth group?
But what's the rate?
Okay, okay. Well, everybody already knows what the number is, so. Okay, we're going to do it again. From 1 to 20. 1 to 20. Now, again.
5. 11.
1.
Who's?
13.
It's 11. Okay, so you got the short straw, so you're first. Okay, now we're going to do it again. Okay.
5.
1.
He's mentally not with us. Okay, who else? 13? No, you've already been picked. Okay, who else? There's another one. Who's the third one?
Somebody on my team.
Another group.
Go.
2.
It's 15. Okay, who is closest to 15?
We'll go second.
Huh?
We'll go second.
Okay.
You're going first.
We'll go, yeah?
You got 11 last time.
Yeah.
No, he's bullshitting you. He's going first. He talked you into it. Okay, so now I have fingers behind my hand for the 2 that are left. Somebody pick.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Somebody pick.
Rose.
I have how many fingers do I have on a hand, you fucking idiot? Okay, and who else? 5. 4. Okay, so you're third, you're last. 4 fingers, he picks 15. And you wonder why. And PhD over here, you wonder why. You wonder why I make fun of you. I mean, God damn. It's unbelievable. But I mean, every seminar is about the same. We've always got 1 or 2 of them in the audience. Okay, so we know who's going first.
So who's going first?
You.
Really?
You got a short stick.
But I got 13, he got 11.
No. I mean, the first time
Yeah,
around.
the first time around, I picked 13, he had 11, and you said it's 11. So he's first.
You want to go first.
That's what I...
Okay, well then I stand corrected.
We're last because we got a 2-time right.
Huh? No. The people that got the number picked it closest got the short straw. That means they're up.
It was bad to be closest.
Okay, it was bad. It was bad. See, now if I had done this in Arabic, you might have had a chance. Okay, so their group is first. Thomas is second. Second. Okay, who's third?
We're going last.
No. Hey, Jason, will you explain it to him, please?
We got it 2 times right. They don't care. We're last.
No. You're first. Okay. And who's third? Who's third?
We are.
Okay, and then whoever's left is fourth.
So 2 presentations today, 2 tomorrow. Is that
Yeah.
how it's gonna work? All right.
Yeah. Unless you get through them quicker. Now, some of you, we had one guy in the first or second hardcore that got up and explained their premise, and it was all based on personalities, and he was only up to 5, 6, 7 minutes. Because there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But you all know that it was tremendously successful. That's, but when you were doing this, you didn't know that. And when I passed on it back many years ago on the idea, because I wasn't part of the real process, and as I've already told you, my personal methodology of QLA, you miss a lot of deals because I don't peel enough onions back. But I know I'm better off doing deals and looking at a lot of deals than peeling the onions back. Because sometimes you're down to the core of the onion because there's so many different nuances. And nuances don't make you wealthy. Series of transactions make you wealthy. And the brothers that are trying to sell part of their business, if they had been doing transactions all these years, this business wouldn't be that important, or they take less money, or a combination of the two. And but on the other end of the continuum, Marcus, every transaction is like death to him. Doesn't leave an ounce of blood in it. Okay, he doesn't care, and he doesn't care that he gets a bad reputation. He doesn't care that he takes food from the guy's mother's mouth. He doesn't care about any of that. All he knows is he wants to beat him to death.
Is that a bad idea?
No, it's not a bad idea. It's what your personality is, and that comes from his competitive scheme. If a guy hasn't won a race in 5 years, is Marcus going to let him win the fucking race? Fuck no. Is he even going to let him get close? No. Marcus raced in a non-professional deal a year or two ago, and downhill. And downhill to a downhill race is a straight line, okay? But to an amateur, he's going like this, right? Well, he won by 8 or 9 minutes. In a contest is hundreds of seconds. He was so far ahead of the guy that came in second place that, he was sitting there taking his boots, his things off, and, not that he smokes a cigar, but, lighting up with his feet up on a log because he's really competitive. But if you notice, Jason is competitive. He wanted to know what the rest of his group was doing. And these guys are competitive. The guys that are doing the most are competitive. And at competition, some of you are old enough to remember that when the kids stop getting first, second, third place and they just have competition ribbons and that kind of thing. And I've already told you that's when we took the kids out of organized sports. They get up, 7-1 in Pop Warner or baseball, the kid baseball, and they call the game. Now, what kind of shit is that? Yeah, but that's where we are.
Like the Monopoly there.
The who?
The Monopoly. The Millennium Monopoly.
Million Monopoly. What is that?
No, Millennium.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he didn't say it right, but he says it with the new monopoly that is being made by Habros. They have no property. You're living with your mother. I'm not kidding you. For real.
You buy vegetables?
Yeah. Vegetables, vegan. This is the new monopoly. Not the monopoly that I learned on, and probably most of you.
Real estate, you can't afford it.
Yeah, you can't afford it. It's unfucking believable. But you go to the stores, and then I have it right under table. This is Hitler's table talk. You know how you have a coffee table and you got magazines and shit in your drawing room? Well, we used to have this, except Sally made me take it down. Put it in here. She says, some people are going to think that, he arguably is the most high-performance person in the last 100 years. Because high performance is getting people to do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. High performance is not goodness. And the reason I have Attila the Hun and various other luminaries on my Hall of Influencers is because, I read that stuff, like Vlad the Impaler, because they got shit done. They got shit done. If Eisenhower had lost World War II for us at Normandy, he wouldn't have been president. He wouldn't have been shit. He would have been a footnote in history. And when Brian and Ty go at it, other than to their followings, in between the two of those guys, they got millions and millions of people. Now, it's a completely other question. Why would millions and millions of people listen to two young guys? Ty's younger than he is, but maybe he'll fight you with one arm behind him because he's so much younger than you are. And he's really not so much younger than you are, but that's a whole other story. Okay, any other questions about the first big case? Okay, go to your corners, and lunch is at 1 o'clock. I'll be around to see you and point you if you're way off track. And then today at 2 o'clock we have who? Roberto. Oh, Roberto, who took 20 grand, turned it into 70 million in less than a year. Half-breed.